Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to make a heart friendship bracelet. So you're going to need some thread or embroidery thread, some tape, and some scissors. And I didn't show it here, but you will probably also want to have a sewing needle handy just in case you make a mistake. So go ahead and cut 6 pieces of 5 feet string. That's going to be the background color, and cut 2 pieces of 4 feet string that are going to be the color of the heart. Once you have all your pieces cut, then you're going to tie off the ends, leaving enough room that you can tie both ends of the bracelet together when you're finished. Then tape down the end just above the knot so that the string doesn't move around when you're trying to work on it. So first thing that we need to do is separate the strings into 2 sides. So we're going to have a left side and a right side. And on the left side, you're going to have 3 of the same color, and then your heart color is going to go in the center. And then on the right side, we're going to have a mirror image. So you're going to have 3 of the background colors on the right, and then your heart strand on the left in the center. So this is what it should look like. 3 of the background colors on each side, and then the heart color on the inside. So once your string is all laid out the way that you want it, then we're going to go ahead and start tying some knots. So taking the first 2 strings on the furthest left side of the left 4, then we're going to tie what's called a forward knot. And what that means is that you take the left strand, cross it over the right strand, so it should look like this, and then you're going to loop under and pull up. So that's your first forward knot, and you're going to do 2 forward knots on all 4 pieces of string on the left side of this group. Now that string that you just tied the knot around can move over, and you're going to pick up the next string, so it's going to be another yellow string, and using the same knot or the same string as before, you're going to tie 2 forward knots around this next piece of string. And what this is doing is moving that first strand that was all the way on the left side to the right. And when you get to the heart color on the inside, you're going to do exactly the same thing. So 2 forward knots on the innermost string. And then you are finished with the left side for the first row. Now we're going to move on to the right side, and we're going to do the mirror image. So this means that instead of doing a forward knot, we're going to be doing a backwards knot. So we're going to take the right string this time on the furthest right, cross it left, and then pull it up and through. And we're going to do 2 of those on every single piece of string. So cross left, pull up, and through. And then you move on to the second background color. So using the same string to tie the knots, then you're going to cross left, go up, and through. Now you should be at the heart color in the middle. And you're going to do the same thing, so 2 more backward knots on the heart strand. So cross left, pull up and through. Now you should have 2 of the background colors at the center of all 8 of the strings, and your heart colors should have moved out 1 from the center that they were at before. And here, to connect the center 2 pieces together, you're just going to tie 2 more backwards knots. So cross left, pull up and under and through, cross left, pull up and through. So that is your first row finished. So you're going to go ahead and do this exact same pattern 2 more times. So we need 3 rows of the yellow colors first. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but it's the same thing. So on the left side, you're going to start by going through all the strings with 2 forwards knots. And on the left side, then you're going to start all the way on the right, and you're going to do 2 backwards knots on every string. And again, when you get to the center, then just tie them together using 2 backwards knots. At this point, you should have 3 rows completed, and the heart color should be all the way on the outside. So this is where it gets a little bit different. So instead of doing forwards knots on the left side and backwards knots on the right side, we're actually going to change it up. So starting with the 2 strings on the left, then you're going to take the string on the right and do a backwards knot. And this is because we don't want to see that heart color yet. So you're going to do a backwards knot, do 2 of those on the same string, on the heart color string. And that moves the heart color string in by 1 strand. And again, another time, you're going to do 2 more backwards knots with the next set of strings. So crossing left, and then pulling up and through. And the heartstring should have moved in one more. So now taking these middle two pieces with the heart color on the left, now we're going to do 2 forwards knots on this next string, and now you should actually be able to see the color that you picked for your hearts in the pattern. So you're going to cross right and then pull up and through. And now that heart color string should be back in the middle where it was when we started. So moving on to the left side. Before we were always doing backwards knots on the left side, but now we're going to do some forwards knots. So we're going to take the string on the left, cross it over the right, and then pull up and through. Moving on to the next set of 2, then we are again doing 2 forwards knots. So you're going to cross right and then pull up and through. Now we're at the next 2, and this time, because we want to see the heart color, then you're going to do a backwards knot. So you're going to do 2 backwards knots. I actually messed up here and did 1 backwards and then 1 forwards, but make sure you do 2 backwards knots. And now, as we usually do with the 2 strings in the center, you're going to connect them using 2 backwards knots. So I know it might look a little bit weird right now, but don't worry, it'll work out. So now that we're back to how we started with the 2 heart colors in the middle and the background colors, 3 strings on the left, 3 strings on the right, you're going to start over doing the exact same pattern. So you're going to do the forwards knots on the left, and then the backwards knots on the right, 3 more rows of that until the heart colors are back on the outside of the bracelet. When the strands are back on the outside for the heart, Then we're going to go back to the heart pattern. So the first 2 strands are going to be backwards knots on the left side. And then the last one is going to be a forwards knot so that you can see the heart color that you chose. And then on the left side, we're going to do the first 2 strands as forwards knots. And then the last one you're going to do as a backwards knot. And then connect the 2 heart colors in the center by using 2 backwards knots. So you kind of get the idea now, so really going to speed this video up, and you're just going to continue doing this until the bracelet is as long as you want it to be. So I mentioned at the beginning that you might want a sewing needle handy. It makes it really easy to get knots out if you messed up. So if you did a backwards knot where you should have done a forwards knot, or if you did 2 or 3 knots instead of 2, then you can go in with a sewing needle and undo your knots so that you can start back up and do it correctly. When you're finished with the bracelet, then you can take it out of the tape and then tie the end off using the same knot that we did at the beginning, so just a basic overhand knot. And when you cut the ends, make sure you leave enough that you can tie the 2 ends of the bracelet together. Otherwise, it'll all be for nothing. Or it would make a good bookmark or something. But I had a lot of fun making this, and I hope you enjoy yourself making it as well. Thanks for watching.